So junior high and high school, like I look back on this, I was coding a lot, but I also played a ton of video games. Who played video games? Okay. What did you go? Were you other guys athletes or? What did you guys do with your time? So there's this guy, John Harrison, who does research on entrepreneurship. He says video games are problem-solving simulators that rely on hard work and persistence, very similar to an entrepreneurial endeavor. So I have like 3 games I'm going to talk about. The first is probably like my favorite game of all time, Roller Coaster Tycoon. Did you guys play this?
Oh, it's so
Okay. Roller Coaster Tycoon is like one of the greatest games ever made. You get to build a theme park, and you get to build roller coasters and like attractions, and like the goal is to try to get as many visitors into your park and to increase your ratings as high as possible. And there are a ton of things that you learn in this game that are like, I'd say like relevant to, I don't know, being an entrepreneur, working on a startup. You have like a ton of customers all the time. You're constantly trying to make them happy. You're constantly screwing things up. You're constantly building things. A lot of the things get messed up when you're building them. My favorite thing by far was like there's this thing called an information kiosk. Do you guys remember this?
Yeah.
And so like you could sell umbrellas at the information kiosk. And like this, it was so cool. Like this was just the greatest troll thing ever. Like you could sell umbrellas for $1, but then the moment it started raining, you jack them up to $15, and like everyone walks by and buys an umbrella, and that was like your cash flow for the month. So like that's basically like the beginning of surge pricing. Like I think that was like, I think that like the guys that work at Uber, I'm pretty sure they used to play Roller Coaster Tycoon. Because like when it's raining outside, everyone in SF wants to take a cab to work, and so Uber is always surging. Or on New Year's or wherever. Like, so I think like, I mean, I felt like I spent probably most of my time in like maybe junior high and high school. I just spent so much time playing Roller Coaster Tycoon. And I also played a lot of the other like SimCity, The Sims, like all the, I mean, a lot of those games where you're just like running simulations and like you're kind of like running them quicker than what you get to do in real life. But I feel like that gives you like a sort of mental blueprint for when you actually start like running a company. You've already done a lot of this stuff before in these video games. The next one is Party Poker. Did anyone play Party Poker? Nice. Okay, so Party Poker, this is actually like a real money game. This is before they like banned online gambling in the US, although I think it's available in some states now. Anyways, so Party Poker was available when I was like a freshman and sophomore in high school, and my friend's dad was like really nice to us, and we'd give him cash, and he'd put money into our account. So we would just play like, I think I literally spent one summer, and the only thing I did was play poker. Like I didn't think I like went outside. So I guess like 2 things that I learned in Party Poker. So one was you could actually chat with the people that were in the room. And we had this grand strategy where we would go into poker rooms and we would just like start talking trash. Like immediately when we got in, we would just say that like, okay, this guy like has no idea how to play, like this guy is bluffing. We would just like talk so much trash. And so we would get the whole table to be really pissed off at us. And we would just like basically like wait and slow play until we got super good cards and just tell everyone, guys, like we've got the worst cards ever, we're gonna bluff you, da da da. And they hated us so much they wanted to just get us out. So they would like call us all the time and we would just crush them, like we'd always beat them. So I think like I learned from that like you can be like sort of outspoken and like use it as a strategy. And that like can help you if you're like very strategic about it. Like you shouldn't be outspoken for no reason. If there's like some like strategic reason to like talk trash, then it can work. The other thing I would say is like one hand we had, we literally hit this. Like I literally hit this, which is like, this is the greatest hand in all of poker. And this is like, you never ever get it. Like you never see this hand. It's like getting a hole-in-one in golf. And we got this hand in a room that we were talking trash to people in. And we like ended up raising the pot to like $150, which was an insane amount of money back then. And like we totally won the hand. So the other thing I think is like I think poker teaches patience for sure. And like you learn, like if you play too fast, you can like run out of the resources that you need to play the game. And I think like when you're starting companies, you definitely need to be patient. Like I don't know anyone that's an overnight success. I've never met that person. And it just requires a lot of patience. And like eventually, if you keep working and like keep like trying, you'll get good hands. And I think it's a process and it just takes time. So I can tell you all the people I know in Silicon Valley that have been successful have been patient. That is a virtue that is shared by everybody.
In Spanish we have a saying.
Yeah.
Poker has de ganar, deberás saber esperar. That means you have to be patient to win in poker.
Okay. Well, nice. I didn't know that, but okay, awesome. Okay, then the next one's Grand Theft Auto. Who played Grand Theft Auto? This is like the greatest game ever made. Next Roller Coaster Tycoon. I played a ton of Grand Theft Auto. I feel like you can also learn about entrepreneurship from Grand Theft Auto. If you, so like, I mean, first of all, I learned how to drive in Grand Theft Auto. So that's like the number one thing I learned. And you have to drive to a lot of VC meetings. So sometimes you need to go faster than usual. No, but I think in Grand Theft Auto, like it's very similar again to like when you're starting a company. Like you start off as like a guy that has nothing, and then you like eventually you start taking over like you take over a building, you take over a strip mall, you start taking over things, and you have to defend your territory. So I think there's a lot of stuff in Grand Theft Auto that is relevant. I think the other thing with Grand Theft Auto is like poker teaches you patience. Grand Theft Auto teaches you if you don't have a good hand, you should just steal someone else's. That's bad advice. So yeah. So I think the takeaway is again like Roller Coaster Tycoon. I think it's like it charges a lot when there's real demand for your product or service. Like don't sell yourself short. In the same way that like when I was mowing lawns and that woman told me I could do her lawn for $8. I left a lot on the table. Make sure that you guys are like charging real money for what you guys are doing. Party poker is all about patience, and then Grand Theft Auto, there's a lot of lessons there. So I think you guys probably learned a lot more than you think while you were wasting all that time playing video games. So like don't like think that all that time was wasted. There's a ton of lessons in there. Think back on those memories fondly, like not like you were wasting time.